What is going on, Sideline Cancer family? As always, I'm your host, Andrew Wade, and we are joined by Sideline Cancer, one of the newest members of the team, Nick McGlynn. Nick, it is a pleasure to have you on for our player preview series. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing great. Pleasure to be here.
Love, man. And Nick, we go back, right? We're Drake alums, so I feel like there's a bond here. I've also interviewed you before for Iowa United, so some of these questions are going to be redundant if anyone here used to listen to the Locked On Hawkeyes podcast. But if not, we're going to be talking about some of those things about Drake as well. So let's get into it, though. I mean, you joined Drake. Drake has been a struggling program, right? I mean, from about 2011 till about 2018, your last year, Drake could kind of struggle. There were some peaks, but not nice peaks. So, what made you decide to go to Drake when they were a little bit down?
Well, when I was like even aware of Drake University, because I didn't know much. I'm from Wisconsin. I don't have a lot of Iowa hoops knowledge, or at least I didn't. There was a lot of they just got a brand new coach in Ray Giacoletti, and there was a lot of this is the year we're going to turn it around. We're going to turn it around. And I just wanted to be a part of it. I wasn't recruited highly coming out of high school, but getting that that exposure from like Drake, from the Missouri Valley has got some great competition, especially when I first was recruited there with like Wichita State and Northern Iowa had been dominating for the few years prior. It just seemed like a good opportunity to make a name for myself and try to turn a program around with some special guys. So it was a very good opportunity to it was one of those situations where like it seemed like anybody could break out. So it seemed like a good time for me individually and me as a team player to really shine.
I love that. And in this day and age, had someone like you had the numbers you had, it would have been really easy to probably leave Drake, especially after going through several coaching changes. But you stuck around. You dealt with three major coaching changes, I believe, right? You had Nico, you had Ray, and then you finally ended up with Darian. What was it like to then transition into that final year? You were the leader of the team. DeVries was there. And you can kind of see, obviously now, hindsight's 2020, he had a good vision, and you were the kind of the catalyst of that, kind of leading that team with a lot of new incomers. What was that like for you, and what's it like now to see Drake be so successful?
It's been special, man. I can't even say anything much more than that, and I can't even fully give myself credit for that, that 2019 season, because obviously, you had guys like Nick Norton, Brady Ellingson, even guys that are still on the team like DJ and Roman. Those guys, even and Trammell, like I'm gonna miss some guys, obviously, but all those guys on that team, both since graduated and still on the team. Those are some. Everyone together put together something really special, and of course, it was DeVries that brought it all together. Going into it, obviously, I had my doubts. That was like you said, it was the third. If you really want to get technical, fourth coaching change that I've gone through.
Yep.
Because
you had the interim, right?
Right.
Yep.
My sophomore year. But and so going into the senior year, I just wanted. It was a little cynical, but at first I was like, I'm just gonna try to make this the best I can. Like,
yeah,
it's whatever. Like, it kind of hands to the side. We're gonna see where this goes, and I'm gonna see Drake out for better, for worse. And then, obviously, we had the season that we had, and it was, like I said, really special. And to see that sustained, and I'm definitely not surprised, because I know, DeVries is the real deal. the guys that have been staying on the team, like Trammell and DJ and Roman, those guys are the real deal. I know it's a special group, and it was it's awesome to see that sustained, and it's I'm always going to be excited to see where they go next.
I love that, man. And yeah, I mean, finishing first in the Missouri Valley Conference is not an easy thing to do. I believe you were the defensive player of the year. Is that correct?
Yes, yeah. I was defensive player of the year, and I was first team all conference.
I love that, man. Well, as a Drake alum, pretty cool to see you stick it out again in this day and age. That is not exactly common. I feel like a lot of people in your position would have been very apt to leave, and you stuck around and hung it out for Drake. And look where Drake is at now, which is pretty cool.
Mm.
One of the big things in this day and age as well is as NIL. And I'm curious from your perspective, at the time, what would you have most wanted to partner with from an NIL perspective, locally and regionally, if you could have?
Oh man, I know for a fact I would get my money's worth from any Des Moines food place. I know for a fact. I know I would have whatever they would have given me. I know that I would have, paid them back and then some, because it was that's where most of my money went in college. Um, I can't really say one for like I honestly can't really give you a thing. I was just talking about this to a trainer earlier today, like, the NIL stuff and the, you know, uh, all this push to give, some sort of compensation for college players is just something that, you know, can't believe I missed the boat like by 1 year. It's like a year and a half. They're like, oh, let's let them go. And like, all right, well, thanks for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's whatever. I'm glad it's happening. I'm just, they could have came to their senses a little earlier. Maybe I'd give Jethro's or uh, like Raising Cane some, a shout out. That'd have been nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it is unfortunate. You were so close, yet that's so far away as
Of
well,
course.
considering I mean, it's ridiculous that it wasn't happening before, but at least now you're playing pro ball, which is pretty freaking
Oh
awesome,
yeah.
and, can't complain there. You played 2 years in Austria, and a year in Belgium. What has that experience been like for you so far?
It's been great. I've really enjoyed the experience. It's definitely made me accelerate and excel as a basketball player. Um, the amount of freedom, not just as a basketball player, but as a just someone who is definitely taking advantage of the world traveling that you get to do. I'm enjoying, the independence, the just taking it all in and experiencing uh, new cultures and new uh, you know people, all this stuff. I'm having a hard time articulating, obviously, but it's just different. There's not much else to say.
Yeah.
I've only been there for 3 years, and I already feel like I have, certain experiences and certain, knowledge of things, basketball or otherwise, that like a lot of people, uh, and a lot of people otherwise wouldn't have.
Yeah.
And so it's a really, I'm definitely not taking it for granted. I'll just say that.
Like, that's awesome. I mean, to your point, you've been there for 3 years. I've been in Europe probably for a grand total of 8 weeks,
Mm.
and those 8 weeks are life-changing in terms of how you look at everything when you come back to the States and how you just honestly perceive a lot of things as well. So I think it's I can only imagine the growth in 3 years, that you're kinda seeing there. How has your game changed? Has anything changed about your games from Drake until, getting into Europe?
I think the main thing that I'd say about my game changing, because you know the main things haven't changed. I don't think. I got a lot of rebounds in college, and I still get a lot of rebounds overseas. I, you know, I'm I'm loud and enthusiastic in college, and I was loud and enthusiastic overseas. Like it's just it doesn't that part didn't change. I think it was just the way that I played because I feel like in college I was a little more I was way more back to the basket for sure. Um and I was just able to, move people around a little bit more with my body. And in Europe, it's more tactical. It's a little more, who's got the better footwork, who has the first step, who has, all that stuff. So I'm starting to, I definitely struggled early, but I feel like I'm getting the hang of it at least a little bit now. Um, yeah, I feel like that's the main difference. I feel like the main things on my game hasn't changed, but the way that I do them did.
Makes sense. And each summer, the last 2 summers, you've been able to play in TBT. You played for Iowa United, and then last year you played for Creighton. And I think that is tough to swallow because I just personally hate Creighton. Um, but you got to do what you got to do. What has your TBT experience been like so far, man? What has been the most memorable piece of it, and what have you enjoyed about it?
Well, I mean, I obviously was stoked to get the call from Sideline Cancer because those first 2 years that I've been exposed to TBT, and then the 1 year we didn't make it in 2020 with the bubble.
Yep.
They had the bubble. We just didn't get the bid or whatever. Um, being exposed to the certain teams in TBT, I think the most memorable piece is just like there's a community of these pro players that's just really cool to see. I'm in the team like and a team like Sideline Cancer who has a broader reach than an alumni team like the Iowa United or the Creighton or the Blue Crew. Great teams, love those guys. I made connections with some of those guys, some guys that I'm really happy to know. Uh, but being on a team with like such a wider base is just insane. Knowing people from all over the country rather than have it being as regional as it is. Memorable. I mean, obviously, I don't have a lot of experience in the TBT. I am currently 1-2, 1-2 in uh, my record. But that one win, we had a game winner in the Elam ending. DeVrobigs hit a turnaround three at the end of the shot clock to when it was one of the most insane shots I've ever seen go in. So it was oh that type of hype, that type of energy that game brought. Um, you know, Paralleled with games that I played in college. So it's you know they say it all the time in the promos for the TBT, but it is real. Like it, these games are like the real deal. And
Yep.
I've always been happy to be a part of it ever since I graduated college.
Yeah, I remember I was at the Wichita game, you guys versus Wichita State Aftershocks,
Mhm.
and that was electric. I mean, there was probably there was what 5% Iowa United fans, maybe, and 95% Aftershock fans. Just I mean, you're in their hometown, and it was just so electric. They were just going wild during that
Full.
game.
So that gym was full.
Yeah,
I
that
remember I
was
remember playing I remember playing in Wichita at Drake, and I'm not positive they had more fans in an actual college game than in that TBT. It's insane.
Yeah, that was a rough draw to get Wichita State on their home court. I mean, the fact that you all made it very close was very impressive. Nevertheless, but I'm glad you're on Sideline Cancer. Excited to see you play for Sideline Cancer. What is your long-term career goal? What's next for you next year? What's next for you 10 years from now?
Uh, I want to ride this basketball thing out as long as I can, as long as my body allows, as long as my mental allows. Um, I'm still I still love the game. I had a newfound, passion for the game since I graduated college. Playing with school and basketball was always so tiring. So I wasn't even sure that I'd last that long overseas. And then we took school out of it, and it was just basketball. And for some reason, I had way more energy to play basketball.
Weird. What a
Yeah,
concept,
weird how
right?
that works. But yeah, so I obviously have a lot more, a lot of love for the game left, and I have a lot of energy for the game left. So I don't see that changing anytime soon. But when it does, I always, I'm not quite positive what I'm gonna do. Um, I was A lot of things I did in school was, you know, I was an English major and a digital media production major. So, uh, doing something in, the field of entertainment, writing or producing for, television or film would be something that's like ideal for me. Um, Obviously that's a that's not a guaranteed business. That's not a business you can just like, oh, I want to do this, and then we
You're
do
in
it.
it. Yeah.
Right. You gotta, really play your cards right and get lucky. So hopefully, if that doesn't work out, there's always careers adjacent to it. So I'm not really worried about that right now. I'm just worried about, compiling, you know, connections while I'm overseas, trying to like, keep myself in other people's circles so that when that time comes, you know, I have people to contact and I have people to, you know, fall back on. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely get that. You've been overseas for 3 years. What is the one place you really want to visit that you haven't yet?
Oh man, for some reason, well, because of COVID, like I said, the travel is insane. You don't really have a lot of options. Hopefully, these coming years will be a little bit better. Um, and like you said earlier, I was in Austria and I was in Belgium. I've been to France. I've been to the Netherlands. I have not stepped foot in Germany yet, like at all. It's insane. Like
You're just going all around it.
I've been like 3 years just circling around it, and I haven't found a way. So Berlin and Hamburg or uh, uh, what's the other big one?
Munich.
Munich. Yeah,
Yep.
any of those cities would be awesome. Um, I'd like to get a little more south, somewhere in the Balkans, maybe like in Croatia or Serbia. Uh, I would maybe like Turkey, something like that, something a little more like tropical.
Yeah.
Not tropical, I guess, but like it's just warmer. I've been used to all four seasons for so long. Perhaps maybe when a break comes up in February, I'm not traveling with my winter coat on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
What a concept that would be, actually be able to enjoy warmth all year round.
wow, yeah, I can't even imagine. No,
Yeah.
yeah.
I completely get it, man. I mean, I grew up in Iowa, went to Wisconsin for 5 years. I'm in Denver, which it's pretty nice here most of the time, but you still get some snow. Still got that winter coat that you need to have be parking around. So, talked a lot about basketball. Talked a lot about your career. Just a couple easy questions for you. What is your favorite superhero?
My favorite superhero. Um, I always had some sort of connection with the Hulk. Super strength was always something I always wanted when I was a kid. So that would probably be it.
I love it. I have a very distinct memory. I don't know why, but sometime during I think it's what the pictures they sent after the Iowa United game down in Wichita. There's like a moment I think you might have dunked it, and then you came like you just went like this and like we're super pumped and like yelling and screaming. Like I think of the Hulk when I think of that. So I think that aligns pretty well.
Part of it. That's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah. What is the go to song or go to artist that you're listening to before a game?
Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar, 10 times out of 10. He's always in the rotation.
All right, I like that. What is your favorite thing to do outside of basketball?
Favorite thing to do outside of basketball? Man, uh, I've been I've been writing a lot. That's what I've been doing. Anything. It's mostly just like, you know, journaling and, stuff like that. Um, nothing like nothing like super serious or concrete, but I've been, sitting on my computer and just doing that for like a half hour, an hour a day has been it's been really, calming, relaxing. And
Yeah.
the way that I play basketball, I really need something that's calming,
Yeah, like a little bit of yin and yang.
right, to even even it out.
Yeah, I love that. If you don't mind me asking, like, are you journaling about like gratitude type of stuff? Are you journaling about your day? Just like writing short stories. Also, you don't have to tell me. I'm
Yeah,
just curious.
it's just a little bit of everything, sometimes it's, narrative short stories type thing, sometimes it's just what happened in my day, sometimes it's just, like, little, quips and jokes that I just, like, thought was funny throughout my day, like, it's it never is anything, serious or anything that's, like, crazy, profound, it's
Yeah,
just something to keep my mind, occupied.
I love that, man. I'm a big journaling guy. I love the idea of journaling, just writing down stuff, just getting some of the stuff out each day is always a good thing. What
Absolutely.
is your favorite food item?
Favorite food item? I I always struggle with this question,
Do
but
you
it's
get this
been
question a lot?
uh, in my head, yes, always.
Okay.
But but the what when I'm in Europe, the one thing that I always miss is barbecue. So, like, ribs and, like, chicken wings and, pulled pork, all that stuff, that's what I miss the most when I'm away from home. So I'd say probably that.
All right, I can get down with
Anything
that.
anything you can find at a barbecue spot, like, I miss all the time.
Yeah, barbecue's always a good go-to, man. Not a lot of people hate barbecue.
You
All right,
take it you take it for
yeah,
granted. You go overseas, you think like, "Oh, I'll just, like, go to a nice, like, burger joint," and, like, you struggle. You struggle to find just, like, even just a decent burger spot, you just struggle to find.
that'd be tough. I also when I was overseas, I realized they don't have ranch. I just like didn't realize that like ranch was non-existent. Like
It's not
it's
there.
impossible.
It's
Yeah,
nowhere. You can't find it. Not a good one, at least. Like,
yeah,
they'll say, "Oh, do you have ranch?" You're like, "Yeah." They, like, squint, it's like, "Yeah," and then they give you, like, mayonnaise with, like, and they sprinkle pepper into mayonnaise. That was their ranch,
yeah.
and
So gross.
oh,
Yeah, so disgusting. It's very unfortunate when you're like this meal would go fantastic with ranch. Like chicken fingers would
right.
go fantastic with ranch. Like a nice French fry would go good with ranch. But no, cool. We're just not gonna have that here. We're gonna utilize some ketchup, maybe if you have that too. Um,
Yeah. Some
just
mystery
wild.
sauces. They got so many mystery sauces. I don't know what
Yeah,
they are sometimes.
yeah, it's wild. My final question for you is: do you like pineapple on your pizza?
Um, I don't. I've stopped judging those who do. It's we
There was a
got
lot of judgment
we
before.
just gotta move. We gotta move past. We gotta find the peace. We gotta find the peace between the pineapple Hawaiian pizza lovers and the non-Hawaiian pizza lovers. It's
I can
just
appreciate that's a very PC answer. I love that. I definitely judged the heck out of. I think it was Remy who I interviewed, and he's like, "I like pineapple on my pizza." I was like, "That's weird," and he was like, And I was like, "Sorry, I didn't mean to say that out loud." Just
oh man,
not used to people really like he like really was into it.
right? That's weird.
Yeah, just
But
different. Well, cool man.
no
Well,
judgment. No judgment.
I enjoyed chatting with you, buddy. What are the last words you want to say to like the Sideline Cancer family?
Um, I mentioned it earlier, but I truly am uh, honestly honored to be on this team. Like, it's a team that has a storied past in the TBT. It's got, you know, I was at home watching that, 2020 run when they made it to the championship game. Um, so this team, and obviously this team, what they stand for is obviously really admirable and really, it's a good message and is a good cause. So, it's, everything about Sideline Cancer has been what's right about the TBT, you know?
Yeah.
So I was truly honored to get that call. Uh, hopefully, I can, do my part on this team, and obviously, uh, ready to make a big run. Let's get that money.
Yeah, man, the team is set up nicely to make a big run this year. I mean, I think I saw the list came out like the top 15 TBT players, and number one and number two happen to be Keen and Dom, and then you have CJ Miles at 12, and you add in you and Remy and all the guys in the team, man. It's going to be really exciting to see you guys play. So I'm pumped for that. That takes place in July, so it's a few short weeks from now. And I think when this airs, it'll be about 3 weeks from now. Make sure to look at, so on the YouTube channel as you are watching this, make sure to donate. Text I can to 44321, and make sure to follow Nick at Nick McGlynn 35 on Instagram. Nick, appreciate you coming on, man. We'll have to have you on again, hopefully maybe next year. And good luck in the tournament at Xavier. I think the seeds come out tomorrow, so very exciting stuff there. Appreciate you coming on, and everyone make sure to follow Sideline Cancer TBT on YouTube.